Purdue has been one of the best teams in the NCAA the past few years, but back in 2007, they weren't so lucky. Today, I'll be doing a rebuild with Purdue. I'll be leaving all settings on, and I will not be changing the schedule at all. I also left the Purdue coach with his original stats and will not upgrade them at all throughout the sim. This team doesn't look good, but also doesn't look bad. There is a lot of young talent on this team that I can hopefully use to compete for a championship come year 4 and beyond. But as far as this year and potentially even next year, we'll probably struggle as these young guys develop. You could tell this was not the Purdue of today by the lack of big men on this roster. Luckily for me, there were 4 and 5-star big men everywhere for me to recruit. Now, like I said, I didn't expect much of this first season, and with the injuries piling up, we had to resort to a 7-man rotation. This would cause us to finish the season with a horrendous 8-24 record. But the recruits must have liked what they saw on the court, because we would end up signing 3 5-stars, all on the front court, which I thought would be good, but after counting, we ended up with the 51st ranked class, which does not sound good. The roster was looking a whole lot better, and to be honest, our recruits weren't that bad for the 51st ranked class. Our new center is the star of the class as a 73 overall JUCO center. We would only improve from a 77 overall to an 81, which doesn't sound very good, especially when they project us to finish 10th in the conference. Out of conference play had me concerned, especially after finding 2 4-stars in the early window. I was starting to build a team that I did not want to lose. Thankfully, when conference play came around, the team really picked it up, as we finished with a 15-14 record, good enough to finish 6th in the conference, way better than the 10th they projected us. After looking at the player stats, you could tell everyone was doing their part as well. This would lead us into the conference tournament, where we would be taking on Michigan in the first round. Per usual for this channel, this game is off to a slow start. We would end up taking the lead 8-6 with this huge dunk, but both offenses would start picking it up soon. It was tied 14-14 after this dunk by Michigan's out. But after this ridiculous backcourt by us, Michigan would soon extend their lead 20-14, just under 5 minutes left in the half. Once Michigan's offense got rolling, they never really looked back as we head into the half down 31-18. And plays like this is the exact reason why we are down 37-25 with 10 minutes left in the second half. Thanks to this missed dunk, we were able to cut the lead down to 6. The Boilermakers had something brewing here with a little over 5 minutes left in the game. After smoking this layup with 4 minutes left, our magic would run out and Michigan would once again start to pull away. But just when you thought it was over, we would have luck on our side. A couple of big plays late, we would storm back. Unfortunately, this last second effort just wasn't enough, as we end up losing by 1 point, falling this buzzer beater 3 by Gatson, 57-56. This loss would officially end our season, as we finished with a 15-15 record. A solid improvement from year 1. Let's hope we can build upon this in year 3. We would sign 2 top 100 players, in Lloyd Bannister, a center, and a point guard, Luke Edwards, that will hopefully be the stars of the team in the future. This was good enough for the 24th ranked class. Unfortunately, the foul got corrupted for year 3, but I promise you didn't miss much. We improved to an 87 overall team with high aspirations, but we went 17-14 with yet another season without making the tournament. We would end up having Conference Freshman of the Year in Bannister, and we had the 29th ranked recruiting class. Year 4 was looking like it could be our year to make that next step. This team was looking pretty good, coming in at 89 overall, with a lot of on-court experience that should help us down the road. But, to no one's surprise, we would have a terrible start as we head into conference play with a 6-7 record, with losses against Ohio, UNC Greensboro, and Detroit. All very easy winnable games, and losing Lloyd early in the season definitely didn't help. I was very surprised with how bad we were doing, because after looking at our team stats, we basically have 4 players scoring 10 points per game. The team would try to put some things together as we marched into conference play winning our first 3. but things quickly started to slow down after losses to Ohio State and then Michigan. After those losses, we could never get anything going, finishing the regular season a disappointing 13-18. Gadsden and Bannister would be our leading scorers with 13 apiece, and at this point, I was starting to fear for my job. With no hope left for the season, I decided to just sim the conference tournament. And to just about everyone's surprise, we somehow came away with a few upsets. Now we're in the championship round with a chance to actually make the tournament. This would be one of the craziest underdog stories, as we went under 500 in the regular season before knocking out the number 3 team, the number 10 team, and potentially the number 1 team in Ohio State. And even with the win here, we would still be under 500 at 17-18, but we would be guaranteed a spot in the tournament. This would, without a doubt, be one of the craziest things I've ever had happen to me on this game. But the boys weren't giving me much hope, as Ohio State was making it look easy. And with this basket, they would take a 17-6 lead, under 5 minutes left in the half. After this contested 3 by Ohio State, I had lost all hope as they climbed to a 25-10 lead. We would eventually head into the half down big. Truthfully, there was no coming back from this. We would bring it within a 10-point game early in the second half with this offensive rebound and foul by Bannister. But they would slowly begin stretching their lead back out, and with only 2 minutes left, we were down by 20 points. Ohio State would be crowned conference champions after this insane buzzer beater by the CPU for no reason, and our magical run has officially come to an end. Ohio State would go on to eventually win the championship, and we would have 2 freshman all-conference players. This loss would lead me to being fired, and so after 4 years, the rebuild of Purdue was unsuccessful. We finished with a combined record of 56-72, as we continuously underperformed, even after some really good recruiting classes.